Welcome to the blind zone. What is the blind zone, you say? Something that happens all of a sudden or something you refuse to see that was right in front of your face. And today I have to tell you is very painful, painful recording for me. It's based on something that I had been praying. And for a long time, I used the Psalm 139, search me and know me, and if there be any evil thing in me, that you would bring it to my mind. And I've been doing that for a long time. And the Holy Spirit was very good with that, and He would bring up things to my heart so that I could change. Then I started to pray a new prayer, and it was based on the 119th Psalm, the 29th verse. And it basically said, don't let me lie to myself. Well, almost before I finished praying that, the Holy Spirit told me 10 things that I was lying to myself about. I was shocked. Well, for one, at the ferocity and how quickly he responded, but I'm only going to share 5 of those today. And again, when I lie to myself about things, you can go back and weigh it, the flesh and the spirit, because the flesh is Satan, and he wants to kill, steal, and destroy, and the Holy Spirit wants you to have life and have it abundantly. So I'll tell you the 5 things, and then what I did about them. So the first thing that I was lying to myself about was I would say, I would like to meet my neighbors. But when I was outside getting free vitamin D and I would hear my neighbors, I scuttled back in the house, and I just thought to myself, I just lied. Oh, it was too hot, it was too this, it was too that, instead of stopping and engaging them in conversation. The next thing I lied about was I want to get involved with my community. So I'd see something on the community calendar and think, oh, I should go down for that. No, I don't want to. An example would be the 4th of July apple pie and ice cream thing. Did I go down there? No, but I lied to myself and told myself I would like to do those kind of things. But do I do them? No. The other thing is I tell people all the time, oh, I have a trampoline and I'm on it all the time. Well, I don't think the 5 to 7 minutes I'm on it really counts for any kind of exercise. So I had to quit telling myself to either stop telling people that or admit that it's just 5 minutes. So don't get all excited. I'm not working that hard. And then the fourth thing was I thought I had really overcome my eating disorder because I had exposed the lie that Satan had told me my whole life that I had a food shortage, when in fact I did not. So then I swung the pendulum way the other way. And now instead of getting on my scale every day and letting that dictate, my day's feelings, I stopped getting on it at all. It's like, well, I just won't bother. So I was on vacation recently, and when I'm on vacation, I generally let myself eat, things I wouldn't not normally eat. Now, not junk or anything like that. I didn't go crazy, but when I came back, I did not stop eating vacation type stuff. I just kept eating. But what I did stop doing was I just stopped getting on the scale so that I had no exact representation of how bad I've been eating. So that was it. I'd like to know my neighbors. Not really. I'd like to go to community events. Not really. I exercise a lot. No, not at all. And then the food thing has been sorted out. No, no. And the fifth one, and this is the most egregious of the 5, I decided that God needed my help and that he wasn't quite working as fast as I would have liked him to. There were some things that I thought he should have been doing. And so this is what I decided to do. I would help God. And because, he's God after all, but I'm Denise. So that was really painful because I'm in the book of Second Chronicles, and some of the kings in the southern kingdom had been pursued by the kingdoms around them, and they were in dire straits, and they cried out to the Lord, and God answered them. God slew the other kingdoms, and they barely had to lift a finger, and they just had to wait and see for God, and he came through. But then this king, the same king that was saved from, 4 kingdoms worth of people coming after him, he decided to get it in his own head, and he talked to the wicked king of Assyria and made a deal with him. And God was like, what's up with that? He's like, I saved you, and now you're making your own deals. And God was like, we're not having that. And so he put the the king's folly, just that. He broke up his plans. So I was thinking about that. And when I read it in a book and it's somebody else's life, I'm like, oh, you would think that after he would remember, because it couldn't have been that long ago, and he should have remembered all the things that God had done. And then I thought to myself, well, Denise, all the things God's done for you, and now you're going to try to just do a workaround and figure it out without him? So that was pretty painful. And it was like I had said and had been saying for a while that at the resurrection of Christ, when Mary was coming towards the tomb, she said, spices have I got, but who will roll away the stone? Meaning, I'll do my part, and then God will do the things that I cannot do. Well, I sort of rewrote this during my wobbly time of not trusting God as faithfully, and I rewrote it that Denise said, Denise has got the spices, and Denise has hired 2 men in a truck to move away the stone. So I was going to do both of our parts. I was going to do my part and his part. And I know God is very displeased with that. And thankfully, the Holy Spirit did bring it to my mind in one of the 5 lies I was telling myself. I thought about that and I was very grieved, but it also reminded me of the New Testament book of Hebrews, who the author is unknown. But what the author of Hebrews is telling the people is that Jesus Christ is superior. He's superior to Moses. He's superior to the angels. Jesus Christ is superior. And who that author was writing to was the Jewish converts who were Jewish and then converted to believing Christ as their Messiah. But they had it kind of tough. And so they decided, you know what, we think it'd be easier if we just went back to Judaism and the law. And again, that's the flesh and the spirit, because the law is something you do externally. The spirit is something you trust internally. So they thought it would just be easier if they gave up the whole thought of Christianity and just did it themselves under the law by their own strength and power. And that's exactly what I was attempting to do. So to say that I was humbled by the Spirit being so open and honest with me, to showing me the 5 lies that I not only was believing, but I was perpetuating. So I tried to fix it, and in some instances I did. I was contacted by a neighbor, and I told her when she got back from her vacation that she should call me because I wanted to be a good neighbor. I'm going to look at the local community calendar, and when there's an event that they have going, I'm going to make a way to get there for sure. I have gotten out the treadmill, I plugged it back in, and I got out my free weights and my heavy ball. And thanks to the instruction from Jenny in the yoga video, I've decided to take my posture and balance more seriously. So I'm working on that. And the eating thing, I'm going to get back on the scale, and I'm going to stop giving myself such a wide berth of, if I don't know it, I can't acknowledge it, because that's just another lie. I've got to know feasibly where I'm at so that I can change it realistically. And then the 5th thing was about not trusting God because I didn't think he was working fast enough. I just cried and humbled myself that God has been faithful, faithful, faithful to me over the years, and that I am going to trust him. I'm going to take my hand out of the pot and stop stirring it up, and I'm going to do what he told the king of the south to do. Wait and see and trust that I am God. So that's it. That's my painful little secret, my 5 lies I told myself and believed. Again, the flesh and the spirit. The flesh wants to kill, steal, and destroy. And the Spirit wants me to hold fast to the things that I know in my heart to be true. That God is God, his Son Jesus Christ saved me, and the Holy Spirit is here to guide me. So I hope in a couple of weeks I'll come back and tell you how stellar I'm doing with the resolution to my 5 lies. But at least now I know better, so now I can do better. So again, thanks for coming along on The Blind Zone, and we'll see you next week on The Blind Zone.